What's up, everybody? Andrew Steele here. Today I want to talk to you about something that nobody really likes to talk about, but something that we all have to do. Owning a motor coach, your black tank is going to get dirty. When I bought my coach, I asked one of my good buddies, hey, what should I make sure that the RV dealer does before I take delivery? And one of my really good buddies said, make sure they dump your crapper tank, because he had a situation where he ended up with someone else's, When I had the dealership dump the black tank, the dump hoses are clear and you can see all of the previous owner's crap. I've heard an old rumor in the RV world that if you put a couple bags of ice in your black tank, that it will clean the black tank. It's a little hot on a Arizona day today, but I'm gonna show you guys what happened. So I'm going to dump the tank with fresh water so that the water comes out clear, and then I'm going to put two 20-pound bags of ice in the black tank down the toilet and drive around for about 10 or 15 minutes, and then I'm going to also mix it with some black tank cleaner, some orange fluid, drive around for about 15 minutes and we'll see what happens. So right now I'm running fresh water through the toilet so that we can get a couple cycles of fresh water to make sure all the loose debris gets rinsed out before I try the ice test. Okay, that's taking forever, so I'm gonna grab a 5-gallon bucket, fill it with water, and then dump it through my black tank so that it can get rinsed out before we do the ice test. Okay, so now I'm gonna dump a 5-gallon of water into the toilet. One of the nice things about my big kitchen in my tiffin is I've got a huge sink and I'm able to fill this 5-gallon bucket in my kitchen without going outside. So now I'm going to dump my black tank after it's had about 10 gallons of clean water in it. Let's make sure that it's clear. So it's actually still got some pretty nasty water coming out. I think all of those 5 gallons of water probably loosened up some of the debris. So just dumping a couple 5-gallon buckets of water down my sewer was enough to loosen up some of that debris. So I'm gonna dump a couple more 5-gallon buckets of water down there to get some clear water coming out of that black tank before we try this ice test. Now I've got my coach ready to go down the road again. I put about 10 more gallons of water in the black tank. I'm gonna flush it again and hopefully it comes out clear this time. Let's see what we got here. So that looks pretty clear to me. I'm gonna dump the ice in the black tank now and see what happens. So now I'm going to put the ice in the toilet here. I'm gonna put two 20-gallon bags of ice in the toilet. Won't take long for that to melt here in Arizona today. It's about 100 degrees out here today. And it looks like I put a little bit too much ice too quickly in the toilet, so this is something I'm learning, but fortunately I know that with today's weather it's not going to take very long here. So when you're doing this, I've never done this before and I'm learning, you probably want to make sure you don't put too much ice in the toilet because it's going to all be melted by the time it gets down there. And my floor is getting dirty quickly because this ice is melting quickly. So I'm going to try to put it in at a little slower pace here. Okay, so I put my first bag in. I'm going to go down the road a little bit, let this go in, and I'll put my second bag in here in a little bit. What I'm going to do to try to help break everything up is I'm going to add some of this TST Max. I'm going to put a few ounces of this just to try to do everything I can to try to break it up. And I'll even throw a couple of these drop-ins in there as well to try to break everything up. So I'm going to add another 5-gallon bucket of water just to make sure that we've got plenty of fluid in there to rinse any loose debris. So I'm going to add some of this TST here. It's like 100 degrees here in Arizona, so I don't know how well this is going to work in other states, but I'm learning that you want to probably break up the ice a little bit more before you put it in here. As you can see, I'm like dripping in sweat because we've got water everywhere, and trying to do everything I can so I can get this test for you and tell you guys if this really is a good way to clean your black tank. So far, it's a little bit more work than I thought it would be, but let's see if it saves me a couple $100 from having to get my tanks power washed. I'll let you guys know. Anytime I get the excuse to be behind the wheel of my coach, I absolutely love it. Driving this Tiffin Phaeton is so awesome. Oh, it's a beautiful day here in Arizona. It's actually pretty hot, but any day's a good day that I get to go for a ride with my Sadie girl in the coach. So right now the ice is in the black tank swishing around here. The other fun parts about today's trip is we are going to get to top off with diesel fuel, because every time I drive this thing, it burns a lot of diesel fuel, and it's really expensive, but it's definitely worth every penny of it. And I really appreciate everybody that's subscribing to my channel. I'm up to 199 subscribers. Yesterday I had 185, and today when I got home from work I checked it and it was at 199. So really appreciate you guys liking and subscribing and all that good stuff. So we are here at my favorite place, the fuel station. Fuel is currently $3.20 a gallon. Okay, so with the second bag of ice that I'm going to put in there, I'm going to actually break it up a little bit. And I learned from the first bag of ice that if you've got big chunks, it's going to make a little bit more of a mess and be a little bit more of a pain. So let's see if this is maybe a little bit easier. Hopefully I didn't crack my tile floor. Okay, so there should be quite a bit of ice in there. I'm going to save this other half of the 20-pound bag and put it in for the final stretch here, but let's keep cruising and keep this ice breaking up this black tank. I'm cruising in my coach, and I'm definitely trying to take turns a little bit tighter, stop a little bit more, trying to shake around all that ice inside of the black tank. I'm going to go on about a 15-minute cruise here, just a quick little loop around Fountain Hills, Arizona. And right now I've got my rig at Eagle View RV Resort in Fort McDowell, Arizona. I highly recommend it. I made a video review about Eagle View RV Resort about a month ago, and I got quite a few people at the RV park. I ruffled some feathers, to say the least. I made some comments that I think that the RV park should raise their prices so that there's some open sites, and I got a bunch of people all upset, but hey, we all are entitled to our own opinion, and those people that don't like my opinion are entitled to make a YouTube channel and share their opinions of what they think the pricing should be at Eagle View RV Resort. But while I'm talking about that, I will talk about the supply and demand issue in RV resorts in the Phoenix area. Right now they are building 500,000 RVs a year, and they don't make more dirt. So it's really tough to find an RV site in Arizona, especially in the Phoenix area, especially January, February, March. So I really think that Eagle View should step it up, raise their price. They have a 6-page waiting list. You cannot get a site there. If you think I'm kidding, try to call Eagle View RV Resort and tell them that you want a site for January, February, and March. Good luck. So fortunately I'm hitting some speed bumps, and you can see that it's got to be shaking that ice around in the black tank. So now at an air temp of 107 degrees, I don't know how long that ice is going to last in there, but we've got a couple bags and about 30 pounds of ice in there right now, and another 10 pounds of ice that I will dump in there here for the second half of our trip. We're only about 3 or 4 minutes into the trip right now, and as you can see, my Sadie just absolutely doesn't like riding in the motorhome. She I think she's ready to go to South Dakota for the summer, and so am I, especially when the air temp is reading 105 degrees now. So maybe it cool off a little bit now that we're rolling. But as you can see, we are on a windy road. There's a lot of bumps. and hopefully that this is just shaking around that black tank. Now, I did see another video where a gentleman had a clear tank in the back of a pickup truck, and it was like simulated, and a very cool video, but he wasn't really sold on the idea, and I really hope that this works. So this isn't simulated at all. This is real crap that's in my black tank from whoever the previous owner is, and I'm hoping that test is going to work, and hopefully a whole bunch of crap comes out of that black tank after we have all of this ice in there agitating the sidewalls of the tank. So part of the reason that I chose this route is we're going to go over a couple cattle guards here. If that's not shaking that ice around in that black tank, I don't know what is. So I've got 30 pounds of ice, a bunch of the orange TST toilet cleaning solution, the black tank solution, and then I put a bunch more water in there too. I put another 5-gallon bucket of water just so that ice has something to help it splash around. So we will see. It's probably already melted, but hopefully whatever ice is in there is agitating it. So anytime you have an excuse to drive your Tiffin coach, it's definitely worth it. Sadie, what do you think? Is the Tiffin coach worth it? I'm almost back to the RV park. As you can see, we're getting lots of bumps. So I'm really excited to see what the results of this test are. I've heard about it for a long time, and I wanted to test it for a long time. The moment that we've been waiting for is coming soon. We will know when I pull that black tank flush, is it worth it to put a couple bags of your ice in your black tank about 30 minutes before you're to your final destination and you're going to dump your black tank. So as you can see, I'm pulling into Eagle View RV Resort here. This is my favorite RV resort in the Phoenix area. I highly recommend you stop here and get a site if you can, but I already told you about that. You probably can't get a site here. This time of year, they still have some open sites, and they usually do have open sites April through December, just not January, February, March. So as you can see, it's just beautiful here, and we are at the end of April, but it's still pretty busy. I'm even going to get that extra little shake for these last couple. That's got to really shake up my black tank here. The neighbors probably think I'm crazy right now, but hey, I'm trying to get you guys a good review here, a good test. I love the sound of that air brake every time I pull it. It just sounds so good. Okay, so I just got back and I am about to pull the black tank. Before you pull the black tank, you want to always make sure that your sewer hose is properly aligned. And now is the moment of truth. Definitely all kinds of crap that wasn't coming out before. Look at that. Okay, so it's really nasty, but that was definitely not coming out when I did this test just a little while ago. That was coming out completely clear, and now it's yellow and nasty and all kinds of junk. So I'm definitely a believer in the black tank cleaning with ice cubes test. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want to see more RV related content, please like, subscribe, and share. Safe travels.